Okay, so let's talk about weight loss today because that's what this video is about. My weight loss journey. I started at my heaviest. I was at 350 pounds. I'm down 90. I have a long way to go. Do the math. I have a long way to go. Okay. But where I was before is not where I am now. My physicality is also not where it used to be. I am much more active than I used to be. So, to kind of put a finer point on it, that was me, August 2022. And, like, yeah, if I pull my hair back, I actually have a neck. I mean, I have a neck. So there, you can't see it too well. Anyway, I poke fun at myself all the time for anyone watching the video because I can laugh at myself and I'm okay with that. But to kind of like explain this whole journey of my weight loss, if we go back to this day, it was a fun day. I was at the Ava Gardner Museum in North Carolina with my best friend who was visiting from Louisiana. And we took that picture and I saw that and I was like, ooh, I got to do something about my weight. And I weighed on the scale. It was like 350.0. I was exactly 350 pounds. Anyway, 2 days after this picture was taken, my friend is about to go home. And as I am trying to bring things down out of the car, it fell down the garage stairs in a spectacular form, like Olympic platinum gold status. There was no crying. No, no, no. There was guttural screaming. My husband found me, looked at me, and said, well, definitely need to get a ramp up and running now. And I picked myself up because it's not like my husband could help me get up at 350 pounds. You kind of have to do it on your own, you know? And so I hobbled my way to the car, went to the ER. My friend was actually leaving to the airport, so my husband now had to take my friend to the airport. And he had to come back to the ER for me. And they're like, oh, we don't see anything wrong. And I'm telling you, I felt something snap, and I was right. Something did snap, but we'll get into that in a minute. Anyway, the pressure on my foot, because of all the weight and the injury combined, I couldn't go back up the stairs of the garage. I was on my hands and knees crawling up the stairs. It was demeaning and humiliating. And I was very thankful that it was only my husband there because had it been anybody else there, it would have been really embarrassing for me. Um, Fast forward a month later, I go to an orthopedic doctor because I was still having problems with my foot. And they took an x-ray. And when he came into the room, he said, when did you break your ankle? And I said, I've never broken my ankle. They didn't find a break at the ER room. And he turned the screen around. He said, see that right there? That's a break. Mind you, I had two doctors for the same foot because I've been having problems with this foot for years. And yeah, it was surprising to me that after two MRIs and two other orthopedic doctors, neither one of them caught that I had broken my ankle until I get to this doctor. Dr. Hobson is awesome. Anyway, he sends me for an MRI. I tore all the ligaments on the outside of my ankle. I had a lot of fluid buildup, bone spurs, all kinds of stuff had happened to this ankle over the years, and I never knew. Pure Latino fashion, we get up, we ice it down, take some Advil, and keep moving. But, you know, hey. So I ended up having surgery on December 1st, 2022, and couldn't walk for 6 or 7 weeks. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit here because during this time, I'm trying to lose weight. So when I saw myself in that picture, I was like, I really need to do something about this. This is the heaviest I've ever been. I don't like how I'm feeling. My family has a predisposition to type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, you name it, we've had it, right? I don't have any of these things and I want to be preventative. So I started like trying to figure out how to lose weight. And my husband's stepmother, I guess my stepmother-in-law, you could say, she sent me a video that's on YouTube and I'll link it below. It's called Fat Fiction. Very enlightening indeed. And it really talks about, not necessarily keto, but it talks about high protein, low carb. And it all made sense to me. Like, seriously, it made sense to me. So I decided I'm going to try it, and I did. And by the time I had gotten to a weight loss doctor, I'd already lost 12 pounds. Now, the weight loss doctor I chose actually is because of the video that I saw, Fat Fiction. And on there, they talk about Low Carb USA. And I got really curious to find out, like, what's all this Low Carb USA about? It turns out they have a provider directory with providers all over the US that are obesity specialists, and they specialize in the high protein, low carb type of diets, right? So whether it's low carb, keto, or whatever the case may be, they have, they work with that. I went to that office. That's here in my area for a provider who was actually one of the founders of Low Carb USA, which I thought was amazing. Like, how lucky is that? Because in my town, there's not much going on, I can tell you that. But I started working with her and lost some more weight. But then I had to have surgery. And so for 6 to 7 weeks, I was completely reliant on my husband for the meals. Even though I had meal prepped a whole lot, it wasn't enough to get me through 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, there's just no way. I don't have a big enough freezer. Okay. And once I got out of my recovery in terms of like being able to walk again, I was in the middle of physical therapy. I decided I'm going to go right back to my doctor because I kept in contact with her because I was not trying to get off the program. But I got right back in contact with her, and she said, your activity is lower because of the injury, and it's going to take a while to build up. So have you ever heard of Wegovy? And I said, yes, I've heard of Wegovy because my primary doctor had mentioned it to me, but I was kind of like anti like medicine to help you lose weight in any capacity. But this was a little different. This was, I have an injury. I'm trying to increase my activity, but I have to go through physical therapy. I am going through quite a bit with all of this that's going on. And at the end of the day, this will just help for me to curb my appetite so I'm not as hungry, because that's what these injectables do. The Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Zepbound, you name it. All of them do the same thing. They essentially, and there might be some variations, but essentially what happens is it slows the emptying of your stomach. So you don't feel hungry very often because the food is digesting very slowly. And that's a great thing. And it certainly helped catapult the weight loss and restart again. So by the beginning of June, I start my first channel, which is Why Am I Reacting? It's on the other channel. I'll link it, in the description box for you if you're interested. And I said, why am I reacting? I just wanted multiple streams of income because I didn't like being out of work for so long before I could go back to work. And even though I have short term and I have money saved up and stuff, those things run out. And so you want to have something coming in. And so that's why I had started the channel to begin with. I'm very blessed that it's done very well. Anyway, that being said, I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep on the injectables until at least through the end of the year, maybe a little bit longer. But then I was like, you know what? I'm doing really well with this injectable. Let me get down to a lower weight and continue doing the keto diet that I'm on and get down to losing weight. Well, the beginning of 2024 happened, and my insurance decided they were no longer going to cover the injectables. So, since the beginning of the year, since February really, I have struggled. I've struggled so much with losing weight because it's been this roller coaster, this yo-yo of everything happening. What they don't tell you about coming off of these injections cold turkey, because I was forced to, is your body goes through this like whole like craziness roller coaster ride where you're hungry, you're starving, or you get moody, or like there's like so much that goes into it, like so much. And so I struggled with it, but I tried really hard. I went on a couple of different like combination of pills and stuff that the doctor recommended, and it was not doing well for me at all. So I stopped those pills. The injectable just worked better for me. So I heard about Zepbound, which is a new one that has come out. It's kind of like goes in sync with Mounjaro in terms of like the type of medicine that it is. And well, they had a savings card. It was still very pricey, still $550 a month out of pocket for me. But it's not $1,200, which is what Wegovy would be, or the full price of Zepbound would be. So I'll take the savings card, and I have to figure it out. Since then, any weight that I was starting to gain has come off, but now I'm stuck in this 5-pound like zone, and I'm struggling to lose weight from there. So it's a process, and this is a journey. It is not something that is easy to do. And I feel like I'm going to turn the corner here any day and get right back on track with the weight going, the scale going down. So this is a journey for me, and my hope is to continue documenting all of this, right? And hopefully do better videos, because I know this is more of a talking video than it is like a example video or anything like that. But I do want to show like results, and I do want to show scales, and I do want to show all of those things. But this is more of the weight loss story, where I am currently, where I have been, and where I hope to be in the future is just to add a healthy weight, and continuing to be preventative. I'm well past the age of bikinis. That was never in the peripheral, in my line of sight. It's just be preventative so I can continue to stay healthy. And in addition to that, like the more weight that I lose, the better it is for my ankle, right? Like I want to take as much pressure off of my ankle as possible. So it's a journey. And I'm hoping you guys will stick around with me for it, because I'm hoping like maybe once a week we do a weigh-in, or we talk about some of the food, some of the peaks in the valleys of this journey. What are some of the struggles I'm going through? And I really hope you guys like engage with me on this. Anyone who's having a weight loss journey issue, like engage with me on this, because I really want for a community to come of this so that we're all supporting one another. I say it a lot, especially on my other channel, like we're here to be of service in love and community with one another. And so if I can offer any help, or I can share my struggles with you and show you that it can be done, then yeah, absolutely. So I'm here for it. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this one. It's a long enough video. Anyway, pursue the life you deserve, and I'll see you on the next one.